Right, so breaking news. The Bank of Canada raises the overnight borrowing rate by 25 basis points, so a quarter of a percent. Is the market going to crash? What's going to happen in the short term? What's going to happen in the long term? In this video, I'm going to break down what I think is going to happen in the next 2 to 6 weeks, what I think is going to happen longer term with the market, and how this interest rate increase may affect the market. So let's hop into it. All right, so first things first. Let's talk about the shorter term impact and what could potentially happen for those of you that are in the market or thinking about getting into the market in the next couple of months here. And so, do I think there's going to be a massive market shift as a result of this interest rate hike? One, I actually do think there's going to be a little bit of a market shift. And I don't think it's going to be a drastic impact, but I'll tell you where I think the opportunities are going to be. I think this rate announcement is going to shock the market a little bit. Buyers are already fatigued because the market's been insane since the beginning of the year. If you've been a buyer in 2022 so far and you've put in a couple offers, you probably understand that you actually didn't get the first property that you submitted an offer on. And if there was 20 or 30 offers, that's not actually that crazy, okay? I think what's going to happen is I'm already starting to see, without this rate announcement, buyer fatigue starting to build up. People getting frustrated, like, I just need a break. This is taking a toll on my mental health. This is like just really stressful, and it's taking too much of my life, and it's taking too much of my time. And so I think having that already existent in the marketplace, and then having this rate announcement paired with that is likely going to shock the market a little bit for buyers to say, hey, look, I'm just going to step back and see what happens in the next couple of weeks and see if this is actually going to affect the market, okay? And so I think it's going to present an opportunity for buyers who want to persevere and kind of push through and take advantage of a potential opportunity, what I would say is probably the first opportunity in 2022 for a little bit of a market cool down. I don't think that overall prices are going to change. I just, like, right now, prices are like this. I think they might flatten off a little bit and not increase as drastically on a month-over-month basis as what we've seen previously. But I do think the level of competition is going to decrease because there's going to be people that are just going to take a step back and watch from the sidelines for a little bit. And so I do think there is an opportunity there for buyers. Now, let's talk a little bit about what this means from a longer term impact on the market, and if this actually affects buyers' affordability or affordability for anybody in the marketplace. So contextually, we need to look at what does 25% or a quarter of a percent interest rate increase mean for affordability. So if we look at $1 million home purchase with 20% down, and we look at a 2.5% interest rate, which is probably what you could have got yesterday, okay? Your borrowing, your actual borrowing cost for that mortgage would have been $3,584 a month. So $3,500, almost $3,600 a month, okay? If we look at what the cost would be at 2.75, so we raised that by a quarter of a percent, it's $3,684, exactly $100 more, okay? So what you need to do is to come to the conclusion of whether or not you think $100 a month is going to affect buyers' overall desire to enter the market, and if $1,200 a year is going to be a deal breaker for people to get into the market. I know for me personally, I spend $100 on way less important things per month than purchasing property in Toronto, okay? But I think overall, what's really important to understand is anybody who's borrowing money for a home with their mortgage right now is already being stress tested at significantly higher than what they're borrowing the money at. So the bank is saying, hey, look, I will lend you the money at 2.75%, but you need to qualify at a much higher rate, well into the fives, and I'm only going to lend you what you could afford at this much higher rate. So the actual affordability for buyers, unless that stress test rate changes as well, should stay about the same. It's going to be up to the buyer whether or not the $100 a month differential, and again, that's relative to the purchase price and down payment and all that kind of stuff, but just for the purposes of this example, is that $100 a month really going to make a long-term impact on the overall market, Or is it going to have the shorter term impact where people go, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just wait and see. I don't want to be the first person to make a decision, and everybody backs off. We realize that nothing has really changed over the last couple of weeks, and then everybody hops back in. So to kind of wrap this up and to summarize it, I do actually think over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see a great opportunity for buyers. I think we're going to see a great opportunity presented for buyers to have a little bit more of a comfortable buying experience. And I think for anybody that's looking to sell their property, utilize this time to really prepare your home and have everything ready so that you're ready to go back to market when the buyer appetite increases again. So I don't think there's going to be a tremendous amount of impact long term, but we'll have to wait and see. If there's further interest rate announcements, go to the Bank of Canada website. You can look at the upcoming events. The next interest rate announcement and monetary policy report will be on April 13th. So if you go on that website, you can see when the future interest rate announcements are coming into effect. And I think these future ones and whether or not they continue to increase the rates or they hold them, will have a longer term impact on the market. So we'll have to see how that how that pans out. But as for this particular rate announcement, I think it's 0.25%, and I don't necessarily know if it's drastic enough to have a longer term impact on the market. So if you'd like to connect with me, there is a link in the description below. I'd love to connect with you. You can book a call right into my calendar there, and would love to chat with you about the market. So have a great day, and thanks for watching.